percentages here. I'm not going to get into numbers. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. 1960, here was the breakdown for the class of 1958, the males. Get ready for this. Nixon 69%, Kennedy 31%. Okay? Well, that's good. You know, there's honesty there, because who the hell wants to admit nowadays they voted for Nixon? And everybody wants to say they voted for a martyr, you know, an assassinated president. Oh, well, I'm giving you the result, but I'm saying, those guys had to step up to the plate and be really honest, you know, to say, I admit I voted for Richard Nixon against Kennedy. That takes a lot of guts. So that's the typical of the class of 58. Okay, look, to make the other people here feel better, the non-alumni 50-50. 50-50, which was just about the way it finished. Remember how close it was? So it was 50-50% Kennedy-Nixon of people who are not alumni, but spouses, friends, guests, whatever, who voted. What?
Who couldn't vote either.
Yeah, this is, I mean, I got to tell you, first I'll say another thing. The turnout here in 60 obviously is extremely low because nobody was eligible here, honestly. But honestly, the results of this election, the participation here, we broke the national record this year, 76%. I mean, you're hearing about these record turnouts in caucuses and primaries around the country. When you count them all up, it's still in the 30s and 40%. This was 76% from this group here tonight. Everybody was waiting for tonight because Texas and Ohio and Pennsylvania, they couldn't settle the presidential nomination, right? North Carolina couldn't settle it really, although it probably may go down as doing the job for Barack Obama. Okay? But everybody's really been waiting for the class of 58 here at Lawrenceville tonight. This is the tiebreaker. This is the tiebreaker. And you got it from participation, whatever. Okay, let's go through the history. 64. Yeah.
64, gone.
64, okay. People are getting impatient here. Okay, Johnson 56, Goldwater 44. Okay, that's the alumni. Non-alumni 68 to 32, Johnson.
That's more like it.
See, the non-alumni are a little more liberal all the way along. You'll see that. Okay, 68, Nixon 56, Humphrey 41, George Wallace 3. Among the non-alumni, 61 to 39. 61 to 39 Nixon. Nothing for Wallace. Okay, 72, Nixon McGovern. 63-37 Nixon. Okay, 56-44 non-alumnus. No, not Humphrey. That's 4 years before. This is another election. This is Nixon McGovern. 56, Nixon 44 for the non-alumni, but that's not as strong a margin as the alumni. 76, Carter Ford. This is a little bit of a surprise, but not really with this group. Ford 58, Carter 42. Somewhat surprisingly, non-alumni 56-44 for Carter. So almost the same, both, for Ford. Both almost the same for Ford over Carter, even though, as you know, Carter won nationally 51-48. So this is a more conservative electorate in 76. 1980, Reagan 59, Carter 36, John Anderson 5%. That's just about the way it was. Non-alumni 58 Reagan, 36 Carter, 6% John Anderson, almost exactly. Carter copied the same, almost exactly the way it was. 1984, say what?
Let's make it right.
These are editorial comments. I'm just giving you the figures here. Okay, 1984, Reagan 65, Mondale 35. And non-alumni 64 to 36 Reagan, almost exactly the same. Okay, now we come to 88. You got George Herbert Walker Bush. This is really weird. I mean, we know who won the election, but this is really almost the most skewed result I've seen. 76-24 for Bush over Dukakis. I think there's some revisionist history here going on. I don't know. Among non-alumni, it's still not very good. 59-41. Okay, 92, the big watershed year. Clinton and Perot running against the incumbent George Herbert Walker Bush. 92, 55% for Bush, 40% for Clinton, 5% for Perot from the alumni. Again, this is a more conservative, Republican-oriented class. We're, you know, product of our time. Okay? Non-alumni, big difference. You'll be happy to hear. 60% Clinton, 29% Bush, 11% Perot. Okay? So we're starting to see a divide here. You're going to notice it here. 96, Clinton runs for re-election. Dole challenges him in the class, 51-39%. Clinton over Dole. Perot got 9% among the alumni. Among the non-alumni, 65-26, and still 9% for Perot. Okay, so a win for Clinton, but interestingly, a stronger win for Clinton among, well, no, it's not a surprise. It's typical that there be a stronger win for Clinton over Dole. 2000, George W. Bush. Okay, these are alumni. 57-38, 5% for Ralph Nader. Okay? Now this is really interesting. The non-alumni in 2000, think of everything we went through 8 years ago, the Florida hanging chads and everything else. George W. Bush, 49%, Gore, 43%, Ralph Nader, 9%. So you can see, you know, a factor that Nader was in that year. 2004, George W. Bush. This is where things really, I think, start to change. I think even among the alumni, and they tend to start jiving more with the non-alumni. Kerry, 57%. George W. Bush, 41%. This is 2004. And among non-alumni, 56-42, almost exactly the same. 2% write-ins for Ralph Nader, okay?